Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erica with Memory Box Candle Co. and I make videos all about making and selling candles. And today's video is another Make Candles with Me video, so you get to see me make candles while you listen to me talk about some things. And today's video is a little extra special for a couple different reasons. First of all, I'm making fall scented candles, and everybody knows fall scented candles is like candle season. It's like the epitome of candles is fall time. So that is what I'm doing in this video. Is I am preparing for the release of my fall collection, which is Monday, September 27th. As well as this video is special because it is actually sponsored by Inventora. So we have another sponsorship for today's video, and I just want to thank them so much for sponsoring this video. I truly just absolutely love Inventora, and I have to be honest, you guys, I love partnering with companies that I not only love the product, but I love the people behind the product. And I really I love Diana, who is the owner of Inventora. She actually partners on that company with her boyfriend, Jeremy, and they work on it together, as well as she also runs Terra, which is her candle business. So she's a maker just like us, and I know that she wanted to create a software that was going to be the most useful software for us makers, and I really do think that they are on the path of having like the best software out there. I'm really not just saying that. I really do love Inventora so much, and I love the different ideas and things and features that they are creating for Inventora. So this video is basically just going to be me talking about getting ready for seasonal launches, how I do it, how to work on production, the stressfulness of it, and just being honest with you guys, as I typically do when it comes to trying to be organized, trying to do everything right, when it comes to actually, getting everything together, figuring out how much you need to have for launches, how much supplies you should have, and all that kind of fun stuff. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So this is actually my second year in the holiday time for being in business and selling candles. So last year, what I had really learned was that I didn't make enough product and I didn't purchase enough supplies. And I have to be honest that I still don't know if I, in my head, am preparing for the amount of sales that I will probably get. I always try to just not assume that I'm going to get a ton of sales, because I don't know. I think that with business, it's good to prepare for that. But as a personal level, if you expect to get a certain amount of sales, it can kind of hurt your self-esteem. And I think that you guys kind of know what I'm talking about with that, is that you have this kind of desire to prepare from a business standpoint, so that you need to prepare, make sure you have all of your products that you need, as well as you also have the personal side to where you don't want to expect that you're going to get X amount of sales. And so you kind of downplay it like, well, I don't know if I'm going to get that many, or, I don't know if it's going to get to that point where I'm going to need this much product. But from a business standpoint, it's better to have a little bit too much. And I know everybody's situation is different. But in my situation, I kind of just have to go based off of how it was last year. And last year's launch went really, really well. And I would say that one of the things that I did not prepare enough for was two things that I did not prepare enough for. The first one being that I did not have enough fragrance oil, or I felt like I didn't make enough product using that fragrance oil. So I was ordering more, and I was only ordering the 16-ounce bottles, and I was kind of just like, I don't know how much to order. So I feel like I don't necessarily know if I've completely mastered that this year at all, but I'm definitely going to look at it a little bit differently. Of as soon as orders are going out, that's just gotta make more, and keep selling. Whereas last year, it was just kind of like I almost let them all deplete, and then I would have to worry about shipping, and then I would start, production on more batches of the candles, X amount of time after that. So I think what I'm thinking about now is just keep making, and just assume they're going to sell. And worst case scenario, if it gets to be the end of the year and I still have, a lot left, I can put them on sale. And people love fall scented candles all year long, so you can't really go wrong with having too many fall scented candles. And also, the more you have in stock, the more potential it is for people to purchase. I think about all the times where I have items out of stock and the potential of customers actually purchasing those items at any given time. And I've learned from my years of selling on eBay that the more options of items that you have for people to purchase, the more likelihood that people will purchase from you because there's more items to actually purchase. The actual second thing that I had learned last year that I was not prepared for was shipping materials. I was not prepared. I did not order enough boxes. I did not order enough poly mailers. I didn't order enough packing paper, and I really felt it last year. I was ordering last minute, and that is something that I am 100% not going to do this year. I've already placed more orders. I'm having more products coming in to make sure that I'm fully good to go once I have all of my orders coming in starting next week. But as much as I don't ever feel like an expert in anything that I talk about with you guys, the only thing that I can ever go based off of is that I am a normal person who is learning all of this as I go, and I know everybody else is pretty much that way as well. So I know that I can just be honest when it comes to the fact that I still sometimes don't know exactly how much to order and how many different scents and how many different things. And I can only take what I did last year and learn from it. And I think that if this is your first holiday season, you are going to be doing the exact same thing. Don't be hard on yourself if you make too many, if you don't make enough, if you feel like, you don't know how much fragrance oil to order. If you order, let's say 2 16-ounce bottles of each scent and it goes really well, and then you go to order again and it's completely out of stock for the next 2 months, and then you're mad at yourself because you didn't order enough prior. I have been there so much. I have totally been there. And just don't be hard on yourself when it comes to that, because every season, I believe we will learn a little bit more about our business and what we need to do to prepare the best for what our business is actually capable of selling and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to throw that in there because that is what I'm doing. I'm just learning based on what I did last year and just kind of taking it, for what it was and just trying to do a little bit better than I did last year. And one of the other things that I have definitely learned was that I had too many scent options for my fall collection. Now, this is just me, because I know so many people have like 12 to 20 fall scents at a time, and I just, oh my gosh, my mind could not handle that. I can barely handle, adding more scents in as it is. And I think that's because I already have too many scents in my regular, like my nostalgia collection, which is like my standard collection. And I already have way too many scents in there. So just adding more in, I just feel like I completely abandon my all the time scents for only fall scents, because my fall scents and my winter scents always overlap. So this year I decided to just do 4 fall scents versus last year I did 6. So taking away those 2, I feel a little bit better about having 4. And then for the winter collection, I'm also going to do 4 scents. And that's just for me personally. I feel like it's going to be easier to manage, and I feel like it's going to be easier to keep track of the fragrance oil and all that kind of stuff. I envy so many people that have a shorter scent list for their candle business. Oh my gosh, so much easier to keep track of the fragrance oil and all that kind of stuff. Just if you are new in business, try to keep the scents to a minimum. I know it's hard because the scents are the most fun part of it. Try to keep it to a minimum. You will give yourself less of a headache of trying to keep track of all of these fragrance oils. I promise. But another thing that I had noticed that was an issue last year that I am doing differently when preparing for my fall collection this year is that I not only did I not purchase enough material specifically with fragrance oil, but I would go into making the batch of whatever I was making. Let's say I was making like 10 or 15 pumpkin candles, and I would go into doing it and I would just kind of look at the bottle and be like, I think this will be enough. I'm sure you guys have done that too. You look at the bottle and you're just like, I think this is enough. I think this will be enough for the amount of candles that I'm making. I'm making this amount of this size candle, then the smaller candles. I also want to do wax melts. And I would just kind of essentially estimate by looking at it. And I realized that wasn't necessarily the best way to do that. Going back to the sponsor of today's video, Inventora. So Inventora is they are constantly upgrading and adding new features to it. And one of the coolest features that they recently added is a production feature. So this production feature allows you to actually prepare and prep and add on all of the products that you're going to be making, so you know exactly what you need prior to actually making it. Now, I know a lot of you guys are visual people, like I am a very visual person, so I just recorded a little tutorial kind of video just to jump into Inventora and show you guys what it looks like. So I'm going to play that clip right now. So what the production area is right here is it just allows you to stay really, really organized when you are trying to make a batch of whatever you're making. In my case, it's candles and wax melts. It might be different for you if you're a different kind of maker. But in this instance, you're actually able to create something called a production run, which allows you to name it and then choose the products that you are wanting to make. And you can also set a due date. Now, this is really good for those of us that are either really organized, you're gonna love it, or if you're not very organized like me, it just helps me visually see everything. And one thing I do want to show you guys, so I'm just gonna make this up right here. Let's say we have a wholesale order and I am gonna need to make, 20 of these. And it will show you automatically. This will pop up and will say some materials are low in stock because we have everything updated in our materials section. And this tells me right away that I don't have enough fragrance oil to complete this order. So if I were to get started all prepared to make this order and I go and make it and I realize, oh, I don't have enough fragrance oil. It's frustrating. And to be honest, I've had that happen before to where I wasn't up to date with what I had in stock until I went to go make it. And then I realized I didn't have enough. So honestly, when I had first used this, that was my favorite feature of the whole thing, because once I inputted everything I needed for the fall collection, I realized I didn't order enough fragrance oil. So I immediately went on and ordered more fragrance oil to make more products and be able to actually complete everything. Now, the most important thing to note is before you actually start your production run, make sure that you have everything updated in your materials section and your product section. So make sure all of your materials are up to date. You can run an audit for that. And then for your products, make sure you are actually completing the products. So let's say your collection is an autumn collection, and then you go down to choose the product and then you realize, oh, well, I haven't inputted any of the products that are going to be in the autumn collection. So make sure that you have everything updated over here first prior to actually choosing anything right here. But as an example, I'm just going to show you guys what it looks like when something is in the planned area. So I'm just going to choose a couple of these products right here just to show you. And then I'm going to change the date. You can change it to whenever. I'm going to put it for the 30th just to show you you can change it to whenever. And then you can put any notes if you want to add any notes in, which will be very, very helpful if you have employees or other people that are also making your products as well, so that they know what is planned, what's in progress, and what has been completed, which I think is super awesome when you are working with somebody else with making the items in these collections. And as soon as you click on this, you'll be able to see exactly what's going to be needed. You don't have to make all 10 at once. You can just make 5 and then make that batch, and then it's now in progress. And then once you're done, you can go ahead and just hit the check mark and it will actually pull it from your inventory. So because I hit make batch, it actually went into the progress section. But if you want to put it back into plan, put it into completed, you can kind of drag these around wherever you want to. And then the last and final thing that I wanted to mention is that you can only actually have 5 of these production runs going on at one time in the free version. If you want to have more than 5, you would need to switch over to a paid version, but you are able to have 5 of these cards going at once of any kind of batches that you are currently making. So as you guys can see, this is so much more organized, so much easier to follow and see what you've made and see what you still have to make. And just, I like to have it all itemized like that. I like to have it all written out because sometimes I'm trying to think in my head of what I want to make, and it's just in my head. That's the only place it is. It's not actually written down in paper when it needs to be. So I think that this feature that they added in is absolutely brilliant. I love it so much. And I just wanted to share with you guys for this video in particular, because I think that it can help a lot of people out who also struggle with trying to look and see what they have and try to estimate if they actually have enough for the products that they're wanting to make. But in terms of everything else that has to do with creating a collection release, it doesn't have to be a fall release or anything like that, just any kind of collection release, seasonal release, anything like that. I feel like to me personally, I feel like it's one of the most fun aspects of having a business. You have so much control over it and you can do whatever you want to. But I know that it also comes with a lot of stress, especially when you do what I did and you put out into social media that you are going to be releasing a collection on a certain date, and then you realize that things are not adding up as they were supposed to, and you have to push it out. And that was probably, it sounds so silly, but it was one of like the hardest decisions that I had to make, because I thought about it all day long last week, and I really thought to myself, I am going to regret it if I try to rush this and give myself so much anxiety trying to rush this getting out when I initially put a deadline on it. And I have to tell you guys, I don't like deadlines. I absolutely do not like deadlines. But I know with business, especially with releases of products and stuff like that, it's really good to have deadlines. And I know in general, it's good to have deadlines and follow through with them. And I typically do, but with this instance, things were not lining up. I was waiting on fragrance oils to come in the mail that were behind, that were late coming in. And I just knew that it was probably best for me and my sanity to push it back 5 days. And I'm so happy I did, because I'm so much more prepared now. I went through and I went to Michael's and I was able to go and get some crafts and take some really nice photos for the launch of the collection. Just have like a very nice like fall warm theme to it. And I'm just so much more happy, so much more relaxed, and I'm so excited to release it on Monday. But with that, I think I'm probably going to end today's video right here. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing me talk about the collection release and watching me make candles and label them and all that kind of stuff. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave this video a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. A huge thank you to Inventora for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to follow me over on Instagram at Memory Box Candle Co. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.